Hello guys, welcome back to Bar Chat. We're one game down. This is episode number 5, I believe. We've just had the first England game. Anyone who doesn't tune in, this is your go-to podcast for casual banter and opinion. Here, brought to you from the Easy Breeze in Bowness. We are live on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube. That was very sudden, wasn't it? YouTube and something else. Oh, Twitter. We're all live there. So please do like and comment throughout the show. We will respond to you as they come through. So do get involved. I'll just take this opportunity to invite, or shall I say, introduce our guest. A Stonewall feature on my right-hand side here. Jonesy, how are you, mate?
All good.
Nice to have you back in the building, mate.
Nice to be here on Sunday. Good win.
It was nice to sit in there with you, having a little thing, wasn't it? But yeah, we'll get into the game in a minute. On my left-hand side here, Jack, lovely guy, Spurs fan, but we're not going to hold that against him. So Jack, straight out of Chicago into Bowness. How are you, mate?
I do well. How's yourself?
It's nice to have you back as well.
You know,
when was it that Jack, for all the people who did actually work downstairs last summer in the bar, and then went back? When did you go back?
I went back in late August.
Late August. So it's nearly, so it's about 10 months since we've seen you.
That's what's real.
There you go. Wingman on the far side there, B.
Always here, always
Got
here.
the Holland shirt off. I imagine there was 10 minutes in. You thought, I'm going to question wearing this one again. But all came good in the end.
Nah, I think I was pretty confident.
You were?
Yeah.
Just a dodgy start. Wasn't it a quick goal or something?
It was slightly quick. It was a lucky one, really.
It was a lucky one.
One attack, one goal.
So. Well, there you go. I think it's very difficult, and we'll get into this now. It's difficult, isn't it, with these first games and tournament football and growing into the game. Jonesy, I want to try and stay on a positive thread today because I've watched a lot, as I'm sure we all have, a bit of YouTube.
A very positive person.
I know, mate. I know, always. I've watched a lot of, and everyone's how disappointing, overwhelmed, and blah, blah. And listen, I think to some degree, it's the first game. I tell you what, give us 3 positives, if you can, from the match.
We got the win, defended well, and we grit our teeth, and we've shown a bit of determination.
Are you worried at all about?
Not at all.
You happy with the team you chose?
After watching France last night, to be honest with you, I think it's been an ugly start for some of the favourites. We'll see what happens with Portugal tonight. You just talked about Holland as well. Not a fantastic game to watch. When you watch stuff like Romania 3-0 and all the other ones that have been a bit of a goal fest, I'm happy with just a win, clean sheet. Happy days.
Yeah. What did you think, Jack? What was your take on the English performance?
We won the game. We realized Southgate needs to go. And Kane played for far too long, and I'm glad we sold him.
Really? That's harsh.
Another
wasn't
Kane.
I wasn't
nice to meet you, Jack.
I wasn't expecting that either. That's
We
harsh.
found common ground with a Tottenham fan immediately. Unheard of. B, what's your try and give me a positive. Try and give me a couple of positives.
Yeah. My 3 positives were Jude, Saka, and Gahey. They were my 3 positives.
Nice.
Yeah.
You were happy with all of those performances?
All happy with them 3, yeah. And then I mean that's really, and obviously the win, which is deservedly so as well, I thought. But yeah, it was a good win. Took the 3 points.
Yeah, I think when you're in the opening game, the 3 points is the most important thing. And I guess we did get that. Expectation has been high. We have been favourites. One of the best teams, actually, that I've been impressed with so far that were completely off the radar is I thought Austria played really well yesterday. Anyone see that game?
Yeah. Really good.
They were really at it.
They were really aggressive all the way through.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it.
I have to say, B, you said right at the start, listen, this is no walk in the park for anyone. There seems to be world-class players in almost every team.
Yeah, that Austrian midfield, I mean, if you looked at it, one of the lads played for Bayern Munich against, who was that in the Champions League? Who did Bayern play? Did they go out?
They lost
PSG?
to Real Madrid, didn't they?
Did they lose to Madrid?
Didn't they lose in the
Bayern,
final?
yeah.
No, that was Dortmund in the final.
That was Dortmund in the final.
Oh.
No, it was it Dortmund? I don't know.
Bayern.
Anyway, but you had an Austrian lad in midfield for Bayern who plays for Bayern. He was awesome, and the rest of the team, I mean, they were just so aggressive. They were at it, and I mean, if anyone, I mean, you've seen Romania score 3 goals.
Yeah, that's what
I mean,
I'm
they was
saying.
expecting that type of stuff. So you know, you can't be asleep in these type of games.
One of the best games that I've watched as an end-to-end game, it was like a cup tie, was I think it was Hungary versus Switzerland. That was a really good game. Attack, good defending. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but it was a great game to watch.
Yeah.
And I've not heard any reports of any bother over there, so it's nice to see it's been a happy occasion for all fans. I mean, there's always isolated stuff, but
No, there was.
There was?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
happened?
England. There was some England fans in bother with the police. Yeah.
Go
So,
on.
in the Serbia game, it was on the news.
Yeah, it
What's the
was, yeah.
news? Is that the right button?
No, but it worked. Shut up.
It was a bit of trouble, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of trouble.
Well,
Yeah.
go on, report in. What happened?
I mean, I don't know. It just came by the news, and I thought, oh no, here we go. And I just thought I'd switch it off before it even started, so I didn't want to listen to
Okay,
that.
full
Yeah, no,
disclosure.
just a bit of patio furniture going on.
Yeah.
You know.
Full disclosure. And if someone's going to have to Google this, I've said all of this, but I'm thinking it's isolated. Some bloke got shot because he was threatening the police with a pickaxe.
With a gun?
Yeah.
Did anyone see that?
With a gun?
A bloke got
Yeah,
shot.
England, he got shot because he was threatening the German police with a pickaxe.
Yeah.
I don't know if he died, but I mean, hopefully not.
I think like, what's happened there is that took centre stage over the sort of the bit of the British hooliganism that you tend to get sometimes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, as we say, that's behind us. But listen, we've got a game to look forward to. I think we're all agreed that, look, they started well. I have some concerns which I wanted to go into with you guys before we look at our teams for our ideal teams for Denmark. Is I've pulled up here what was Southgate's lineup on Sunday evening, and I'm just going to express not so much the negative. I'm just want us to have a little focus on the positive in that there are certain things that got shown up for me that I think he needs to address. And now everyone's talked about Foden being out there on the left and whether or not we should have Trent in midfield. And my question to you guys is there something a little bit deeper about this where we could get the best balance? I heard Gary Neville, I don't know when it was, it must be on Sky actually. Gary Neville was talking about having not the best players don't always make the best team, was his comment. And what he was really referring to was what we were talking about last week, which was the golden generation and the mix between
balance. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the balance. And I just wanted to show you guys some stuff for food for thought where I don't think the only concern here is indeed just the fact that whether Trent should play and how we get Foden into the game. And when I look at balance, I wanted to bring something up for you. So for me, what we learned last year as Arsenal fans is that Declan Rice is a better player when he isn't just having to sit back. He's a better player when he can go forward, which is why Arsenal have played Jorginho towards the end of the season. We got the top thing is a heat map of his entire touches on the ball for Arsenal last season. This is the same thread moving forward. And this is a heat map for his touches for England on Sunday evening. And you can see, and this is a concern for me, that his major touches aren't where Southgate is actually playing him. He's playing him in front of the back four. And if you look at the heat map, he's further forward, which makes me think when we get to a Spain or a France or something, we have a concern here that we haven't got a midfield that's going to sit and hold that up. I don't know if anyone's any immediate comments on that one, but then I looked at Wharton and Mainu. So we say to ourselves, okay, well, if we're going to play Rice in that more forward position, we do need someone who's going to sit. And this is their heat map for touches for Crystal Palace and Manchester United this season. Now, I think what you're seeing with Mainu, similar to the top one there with Rice, is he's all over the park. He's as mobile as Rice. And the player that does appear to be happy to sit more, granted, there's a fair heat map there going forward, but looks to be Wharton. Now, we've got to say, if you're not going to have Rice sitting as a holding, these are the only two obvious guys that would sit. And it feels to me that maybe Wharton should be the guy, back to the idea, not always the best players for the best team, that might solve that problem. But the problem doesn't end there. Is that now when I also look at why isn't Foden getting in the game, I look at these heat maps and go, we're playing him completely out of position.
That's glaring obvious. That is
Isn't it?
wrong.
I mean, so we have to find a way to get a young player of the year playing where he's doing all that damage, going down the right, cutting in on his left-hand side and scoring goals. And if we can't, don't play him. Because there are other players, and I'll finish this one because I like to go back to sat on the bench. Gordon, look where he touches the ball all the time. This is all last season. Look where Eze is touching the ball all the time. These are players that play in these positions. And we have to get to a point where we're picking a team or players, and these are no mugs. I mean, the statistics for these guys are incredible. These are no mugs where we're playing the right players in the right position. It doesn't end there. He's got Trippier playing left back. That's him. Whereas look at all the touches he's had for Newcastle, and I know why he plays right back. We know he's filling in for sure. But actually, things like Gahey I haven't got his heat map, but I looked at it earlier. He actually plays more on the left-hand side. If you're going to do anything, put him left back. Don't know what we put in the middle. Don't ask me that. But my point is this is for me where we're having a problem. My last one here, Kane. Look at where Kane is touching the ball for Bayern Munich. Right, so exactly. No, but look at where he's touching the ball for Bayern Munich. He's in the box. He's coming deep. This is stopping Bellingham and stopping Foden play. He's coming deep. We have no one in the box when the ball goes in. And so without going, actually, I'll show you what, therefore, I think the team, this is my 11, I'll get into you guys, to try and combat this problem. And that is to play Wharton as the holding midfielder, to let Rice have more of a free role, to get Foden straight down the middle of the park with Bellingham and interjecting and doing what they want to do. I'm keeping Kane in the team, but if he's not fit and he's not going to perform, then for me, I would put Palmer in. But listen, he deserves to play right now. My case is over, B. What? How do you feel about this? Do you believe in stats? Do you believe in? It seems appear to me that the reason we can't get it to work is for this very reason.
Yeah, I wanna start with, obviously I'm analysing your analysis here now. I like what you've gone through. I think where I would start is that I think the biggest difference between why Wharton sits slightly more than Rice or even Mainu, the reason behind that is because Crystal Palace play a 2-man midfield and Manchester United and Arsenal play a 3-man midfield, which means it's slightly more forgiving.
Skewered stats, maybe.
It's slightly skewered, but I think Adam Wharton in the 3-man midfield would also get forward. So I think all three of them can do that role. I think for what I agree with you is that one of them has to come in to bring a better balance to the team. Now, what I'm not sure what I agree with is who you've dropped in that team. So you've dropped Trippier, is it? Trent?
Sorry, my team.
Yeah, your team. Yeah.
Let's go where we were, yes.
Yeah, so you've dropped Trent and Trippier.
Yeah.
And you've put in Wharton and Gordon. That's an offensive move. I like it, but it's very offensive.
Well, this is Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Because I think we need to find some stuff out. And that I guess, is the key. The key here is that if we were playing, I'll be, full disclosure. When I'm putting Wharton there, I'm thinking Rice has got the legs, as has Wharton, to drop back in and fill a 4. Now, listen, this is radical, but Rice started off as a centre half for West Ham, so he knows how to drop into that space if he does, and Stones can shuffle across without the ball. Not saying we play in there, but I do think he's a player that's got the legs to do it.
Yeah, the one player that does have the experience in doing that role is John Stones, then, don't you? So then, do you leave Rice at centre back, or do you leave?
Oh, no, but then you're wasting it.
Yeah.
And that takes me that then takes me to to completely ruining it. To the point I was making before, which is, you can see with where Jorginho is sat deep for Arsenal, you get the best out of Declan Rice, which is
he's going to be able to get the overlap.
I think what England are missing is a playmaker. So, does anyone watch Germany play?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Kroos, off the scale, isn't he? He is off the scale.
Just reading the game.
And I think what I would love to see, and if he's going to continue to play Trent, because he will, and it's a shame he's not a centre midfielder, I don't think. But
well, look, B, we'll go to your 11 because I've got your 11 sat here. Apologies. We've got your 11 sat here.
Put us in the corner.
And so, see, I can see you've gone for a bit of balance with Gordon playing out. I like what you've done, moving him for. My only argument is you're a little bit of a sacrifice on Trippier and a sacrifice on Rice again playing anchor. But
I think Declan's got to play there. See, what my thought behind this is, I think I want to play the same team-ish. I think, unfortunately for Trent, I would bring him in later in the game. But I want to see the team with a bit more balance on the left because Foden drifting inside most of the game. It was giving me a headache watching that. It was burning my head. He couldn't get in the game. He was too far off the left. There was no switch of play. It only made Saka's space smaller. And so I can't see any other solution other than bringing Foden into midfield rather than putting him on the left.
I will quote Mark from watching the game with you on Sunday night where you said, look at all the space out there. You could build a house. Because it's just big empty spaces with nothing going on. And it stretches the other team's defence. I mean, Denmark, I seen them play the other day and they play in the back three. So that means if you get them centre halves pulled out wide, they're in trouble. Yeah.
They're in trouble.
You got Bellingham and everyone else going through the middle.
Everyone going through the middle. You've got in this game specifically, I think you've got to go high and wide. And I don't think Foden, I think in a system for Man City, I think you can do it because there's so much rotation and there's overlaps and there's underlaps and whatever else technical. But Southgate doesn't have that tactical nuisance. And so him being put out wide and waiting for the ball is almost a waste.
I said on the other pod about Trippier and Gordon having an understanding. I think that'll help Trippier having him in front of him. It's not the team I've got, but I think that is a good matchup, definitely. Almost like like Gary Neville and Beckham back in the golden generation, where they understood each other at club. They carry it on into tournament football.
The future has to be White and Saka. Hopefully we'll get to that at some point.
Just on my team, first sub is Foden. He's got, if he does not perform in this game,
given him the right position, right? So are you seeing that as 2 8s or 2 10s? Or they just...
I'm seeing this as they can interchange because what I've heard a lot of people, a lot of the real pros, Cesc Fabregas, for example, in his analysis, they say that Bellingham imposes himself on the game, but Foden does not. If they are both as 2 8s in front of Rice, either or can drop in at the right time when they've got space to do so, and either or can go forward when the right time's there to go.
Can I touch on Kane? Do we think he's fit?
Get him out.
I mean, mate, I agree with you, and I think with the team as it is and the setup as it is, you need someone who can play on the turn, on the last man, that is not Kane.
I honestly think he'll be more impactful from the bench. I honestly think he'd be a better impact from the bench.
I think having a pure winger out there that can run past Kane will help him as well.
So as long as he solves that problem, Kane's okay.
Kane's okay, 100%. Because even if he drops in deep and Jude goes past him, as we've seen for the goal, where Jude gets in the box and scores the header, the ball went in behind from Trent, and that's the one on the right-hand side. But if you had the same threat on both sides, I think a lot of teams could be in trouble against England.
Do you think, Jack, you're a Tottenham fan? You're a Tottenham fan. I mean, you're seeing Kane. You've seen him for the last 15 years, whatever it is now. And then you've got him going to Bayern Munich. You see, are we seeing the demise? You mentioned Rooney did the same thing. He kind of came deeper as he came to the end of his. Are you seeing that? Have you sold him at the right time? Or
I think we sold him at the right time. Yes, but when he's playing for Bayern Munich, he's a strong player. But they're getting him the ball in the box, in the top of the box every single time, and he does not take the ball with him. And where we saw on the heat map, he's pushing the ball forward. He's trying to grab it from the middle and take it on up.
Yeah. But is he coming deep to get the ball because he's getting nothing?
Yeah, no,
from
he's
the
getting
wings.
nothing. Absolutely. So when he did get that one in the end of the game, he got one where what's the keeper for
Pickford.
No.
Good save. The Austrian guy.
Yeah, the Austrian
off the bar, right? Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
At
which
the
was
end,
a great
he got
save.
a great save and a great cross from, I guess it was Saka at that point. It was a phenomenal cross.
It was from Bowen, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It was a good save.
to get the ball in the box, that's why you'll see in my lineup, I have him farther forward and Foden's playing behind him.
Well, good segue.
Palmer.
Let's go there. So this is talk us through this one, Jack. Your lineup.
Well, I mean, like I said, I put Kane at the very top. Foden and Saka can work the ball up. Like you said, Foden needs a little help, so Rice will be there to grab the ball from the left and pass it up to Foden, and Foden will be able to get it in through the left corner. Saka is phenomenal at that. I can give you an Arsenal fan.
Thanks, mate.
One leg up on that one.
Saka's great. He that's his position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say
But
it again,
I do have
Saka's
Trent
great.
in there. Trent at the bottom and in right back position is much better than he was sitting in the middle because he does nothing.
You see what my problem was with Trent playing from centre midfield. He wasn't the deepest man. I really did not understand that.
Because he's playing Rice there.
Yeah, I know, but I just didn't understand that. If you're gonna play Trent from anywhere on the ball, because he was getting the ball in between the lines. What on earth?
He had quite a bit of the ball.
What on earth is he doing in there? He should be playing from deep, and he has the vision. He could be our Tony Cruz. But again, I think that's almost Southgate's fault. Surely Trent knows that the space should be deeper, and he can play these long passes and whatever.
I agree. I actually quite like this team, Jack. I would put Walker for me. If we were doing this, I'd put Walker back where Trent is. I wouldn't have Trent in the team actually, and I'd put Gahey in the middle of the word thingy. But actually, what I think would be the reality is I would put swap Palmer and Kane because if you got the Foden is out there, don't know, but the Palmer has to play. If we're going to play like that, he has to be on the last man and play on the turn. Kane can't do that. There's no pace. I mean, I thought he was really slow, by the way. But
talking about going through the middle, and again, I did have a look at the sort of Denmark set, what B was saying with the three at the back. And if you've got that team, that's going to punish people through the middle all day long, as well as obviously Saka. But it's the Foden problem again.
I just think if you're going to play Foden there, don't play him.
I think what we got with this team is, well, if you don't put Palmer in there, you got to lack a goal threat. You really do. Because I mean, if Saka gets shut down, which he will, because every manager's watched that first half that England played, you're going to put three people on that side. If there's no one out on the other side, which is where the space would be, and if you had Trent deep, that switch ball, he's honestly probably the best in the world at that. I mean, if the space is on the other side, you've got to exploit that.
He barely touched the ball in the entire game.
Don't you think, they talk about Man City and they've got like two players in every position. They talk about that. Is that with that in your mind, right? I'd go Saka, you go out, you start, you're playing. If after 45, 50, 60 minutes, he's just not having Palmer, you're on, Saka, you're off. The same with Gordon. Gordon's playing out there, for example. You go, Gordon's not happening. Eze, you're on, mate. Kane, you're not playing. It's just, we were screaming out when we were watching.
Oh, man, yeah.
I'll give you some flowers, Southgate, if you could just take Kane off and put Palmer on, because that is exactly what needed to happen.
He'll never do it. I mean, we'll get to my team in a minute. Yeah. Which is,
the first sub he made was Conor Gallagher. That was an abysmal substitution. That was an abysmal substitution.
Jonesy, or should we now call you Southgate? This is your team, mate.
Yeah, it's
basically Southgate's team.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the reason why I've done that is because that's the team he's going to fucking play. And I'll know why he's playing it, because he wants to get everyone gelling. He wants everyone to work together. He wants to try and keep the same squad. I've seen it in every tournament he's done. I don't dislike the guy, but I do think he's fucking beige as fuck.
Yeah.
But
Jonesy, I actually agree with you. I think this is going to be the team, and I think it almost deserves to be the team because they didn't lose. They didn't lose. No. I mean, if no one played a bad game,
it'll be
Kane, Foden, Trent.
Trent did not play bad. We know because we've done this before.
But you know what I mean.
He will not. He doesn't like to change. He wants people to get minutes together as a unit. He wants all that sort of cohesive team, if you will. What he will do, and I think what he will do, is he'll want to try and kill the game off, which is looking at the game on Sunday is not something he knows how to do, because it's again as a United fan, it's a bit Ten Hag, and Ten Hag's come out and sort of said, "Oh, it's this, it's that." It's like people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, but he's he'll keep with that team. I think if I'm thinking what, hopefully I'm right, he'll try and kill the game in the first half, and then people like Kane will come off, people like Saka, people that he knows are in their position, and he may have a play around. But I do think he's got a, not with Bowen, not with Gallagher. He wants to be putting other people on there. Palmer would be my first choice sub. If we're 1 or 2 up at halftime, I think he's got to go in and change it around.
Having Kane as a sub and putting Palmer in first, it would give Kane more motivation.
I said that. I was saying that, but
I would never bench Harry Kane. Never.
You wouldn't drop Harry Kane?
I would never drop Harry Kane. No, it's a silly thought. It's like dropping Saka. I'm never dropping Saka either.
What if we win against Denmark? Then I think that's what he'll do. I think you'll see people like Kobe Mainu in the third game.
I can see Kane being subbed off because that's what he should have done because he didn't look fit. But I'm never not starting him for as long as he can run.
What does everybody think about? Because we've got basically Jonesy Southgate lineup here. What do we think? And again, this is something I heard this week. You know, when we played Italy in the final of the Euros and lost, we went ahead. And Southgate immediately withdraws the troop. We take it on. We sit deep. We concede. When we played France, we scored, conceded, went deep. Blah, blah. It's like with Southgate, and maybe it's because he's a defender that he can't think in any other way, that England going 1 up is almost the worst fucking thing that can happen because his brain just goes, I'll have Gallagher.
Yeah,
or I'll have, who was the other one he brought on? Bowen. But why, what reason? Why on earth did he bring Bowen on and not Palmer?
I have no idea. But if you look at it, if he had, for example, in your team, you have Wharton on the pitch already.
Yeah.
You have someone, or Mainu, you have someone that can take the ball when they're under pressure and keep the ball. So what happens is if England keep the ball, which I don't understand why Jack Grealish didn't go, because he would be in a perfect substitution. Hold up play. You bring the whole team into the game. Whereas when he brought Gallagher on, suddenly you're under pressure. He wins the ball and he just gives it back away. So it is the caliber of player that you've got as well as it's the type of player that you've got. Sorry,
I think there's my problem again. You've got a lot of now sort of we're all relying on Bellingham as well as a little. I don't like that much. But then we're talking about like Wharton and Mainu. I think this isn't their tournament. And I'm a United fan. I love Mainu, but I think next tournament will be
brilliant. These taking tournament. Don't you think brilliant?
Yeah,
he's taking him, giving the experience. Did you hear him talking today?
It's not about giving him the experience. He's ready to play. They're ready to play. Did you see it? He played against the best team in the country that had what? Did they win a double City or whatever they did?
I don't doubt you, but you can't tell me that he's not, by going to this tournament, even if he doesn't play, I think he will play actually, but even if he doesn't play, being in around, we saw it, we're looking at earlier, the camp, the facilities, what tournament football is about. There's so much to be said. They did it for Owen, they did it for Rashford, they did it for Rooney. When they're young, get them in that thing. I mean, Rooney, I think, played, but get them in that mix so they understand what tournament football brings.
I don't think he's not good enough. I just think we've got such a good caliber of players in that midfield. If he was left back, it wouldn't be a problem.
But not in his position. No, but not in his position. When Conor Gallagher comes on, honestly, that's questionable. Conor Gallagher coming on was a questionable decision. Let alone the team. That was a questionable decision. The first two players should have been Mainu or Wharton if he's going to put a holding midfielder on. Simple as that. He thought, I have no idea what he was thinking.
So are you saying by, my suggestion, play Wharton, that where does he go from there? Is that what I mean is that I've gone for the team that you'd bring on at 75 minutes?
No. I disagree.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I'm trying to give the players the freedom because they just like the Owen Hargreaves sat there.
When you have 3 players in midfield, this is why I analysed your heat map. When you have 3 players in midfield, it's not like these lads can't do it. You see Mainu's heat map. Mainu is everywhere. Wharton is a little bit more held back because he plays in the 2-man midfield, but Mainu's everywhere.
But it's exactly the same as Rice.
It's exactly the same as Rice because if they're in the 2, it's perfect. It's a perfect balance to the team. And Jude can go wherever he wants because them 2 will cover the rest of the pitch.
They got the legs.
They got the legs. So
Yeah.
the problem that we've got is Philip Foden. And I'm sorry, but this is why I said the first sub that I'm making, and that's why he's still on the pitch, because he is one of the best talented players that England have. But for balance of the team, you can't play all your best players. And unfortunately, I think Foden and Trent, the two probably best players, don't fit in the team.
Whereas what I would say, he's not an out-and-out striker like Kane is, but all bets are off. If that header goes in, or that keeper save, we're onto that. If that goes in, it's all different, and Kane starts, and we're all happy. Yeah. But it was a scruffy 1-0 win, but it was a win all the same.
I actually thought the last 15 minutes, when we were under the cosh, Kane was actually really good.
That's why I think he should be a sub.
See, I did.
That's why you think he should be. I mean, I thought he was really good. I mean, France did it. They brought Giroud on. I get, bring Kane on, but he was holding the ball up.
I'm just looking at your team again there, B. The more I look at it, I understand exactly where you're going. And I like the fact that you're going to be clinical enough to go, if you ain't performing, you're out. Shaw fit, does he come in for Trippier?
He does.
All right, okay. And I wonder whether that team could get us a fairly long way.
It could. But I think the other thing I would do...
It's balanced, isn't it?
It's balanced. Foden's coming off. And you can sub Kane as well if you need to. But, yeah.
But there's the places to go from there, isn't there?
You can go anywhere from there.
Foden's not performing and we're 1-0 up. You could put Rice where Foden is, give him the freedom, put Wharton in, put Mainu in, do whatever.
See, what I'd do if he, again, I don't think he will, if he starts with that team that you've just put there, B's team, which I like, because it's got the Gordon, it's got the bounce on the left. The two people that I'd bring off if we're having a bit of a dog-eared game or whatever, first half, 60 minutes, whatever, you've got to be taking Kane off, you've got to be taking Foden off.
You can't have the
and
balls.
You've got to be putting Palmer in, and you've got to be putting someone like Watkins or Tony in.
The interesting thing, you and I both said
they need mentioning as well, because they need minutes, I think.
You and I said on Sunday, I think it was the first, if it wasn't, it was the second. The second or first play, the Serbian bloke, was his captain. And we both went, I wish he had the fucking balls to do that.
It's just like that.
The first player was his captain, yeah.
And that's what needs to happen.
He wasn't in the game, and so either captain or not, you get hooked.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Unless you're
Ronaldo. I hate to say it.
No, even if Ronaldo.
Saka is a phenomenal player. Why would he take Bowen on for Saka?
No. I mean,
not a clue.
I think the same thing is going to happen actually in the next game, but I know that it's going to happen because I think every single manager's watched England play there. And if you're playing against England now, that first half, you cannot allow Saka to do that to you. You can't allow... You need to put 2 or 3 people on that side, and suddenly Saka's going to look very average because he's got nowhere to go.
That first... It's like that first 30 minutes was like, this is how we want to... But he's showing the rest of the countries, the tournament, this is our game plan. This is how we're going to play it. And it's like United... Okay, we'll do that. And we got a goal. Thank God we got the goal. But it's like you do that and you go into whatever, that's our game plan. There's no plan B.
There is no plan B.
And that is that Man United thing the last few seasons where there's no plan B. One goal's enough. Let's not shut the game out. Let's just leave it open and we'll sit back and let them come at us a bit. We'll get one on the break. And it's not good enough with the team of players we've got.
I just want to say this manager's going to be the end of us. He's going to be the end of us.
Well, listen, let's hope it's early doors, guys, and let's hope that Southgate is doing what we're doing here. Is what do we know? He's the main man. It does make me laugh that when I'm sat in a pub that there's 400 people in the pub or 50 people in the pub, whatever it is, saying exactly the same thing, yet Southgate can't see any of it. But listen,
down the country.
what do we know? I think what we need to give a little bit. I heard Gary Lineker talking about Christian Eriksen. His last game, obviously, was in the Euros. Has a heart attack. Scores the first goal on his return. Which, I mean, if there are fairy tales to be had, what a lovely and wonderful story. And apparently,
goal as well.
Yeah, I actually missed the goal. It was good, was it? Outside the box, his usual kind of thing, was it? Or
no,
a Spurs player, may I add.
Yes, he was Spurs player,
Good angle.
but he now plays
Caught
for Man
well.
United, so it's fine.
We don't
talk about
I don't think we'll be there much longer.
No, you're
The other thing I'd say is on the punchy side of things, we were saying, I think it was Big Meeks and whoever was with him, maybe Neville or someone. No, it was on the BBC, and so it would have been
Lineker and Shearer.
And they were just saying about, even Foden's had a bad night, and going back to the Foden thing, he gets to start again. Give him the time. He's the best player in the country. Don't disagree with it, but he's had his one bad night now, I think. And I do think, yes, he's great. And maybe it's because I'm a United fan and he's a City player. But if he's not, if he's really ineffective in that first half against
Is it
Denmark,
his fault?
I'm not saying it is his fault. I'm saying if he's still really ineffective.
You know what? It is his
It's
fault.
got to be a bit. You can't just
is.
blame it all on Southgate.
No, it is his fault.
Where do you play, B? Where do you play?
I play in centre
Can
midfield.
you play in goal?
Not in goal, but
Right, you'd be useless.
Put me anywhere. Put me left wing. Put me right wing.
Well,
put me right back. I'll do a job.
If we're saying that,
Yeah, but not at this level.
But look at Bellingham. Where does he play for Real Madrid? But he was going back and getting the ball. He was affecting the game.
I'm sorry,
Foden
but you cannot blame Foden's performance on Southgate. Southgate later in the game put him in the middle as well. Like the last 20 minutes or so, rubbish.
Did he?
Well, yeah.
No, he didn't. Who did he put on the left?
They didn't actually. No,
He
he didn't.
didn't.
No. But I mean, he was in the middle most of the time anyway. But
Well,
we don't need that.
But caused
We
an
don't need
enormous problem. No width. And a
need the
huge problem. Anyway, listen. Let's hope he resolves it. We don't want to drag on too much about it. B, what do we know about Denmark? Anything?
Nothing. I mean, they've got.
There's one man I thought was going to say, it was going to be it.
No, I do know a little bit about Denmark. The best player in the world, Pierre Højbjerg. What's his name?
Højbjerg's still there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were going to Bamiyang then, weren't you?
No. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Højbjerg.
The best player in the world. #not. He's gonna get absolutely rinsed. Get your bookies. Honestly, if he's not favourite to get a yellow card, I'll be surprised.
Has there been a sending off in the tournament yet? I don't think there has.
There has been. Have you seen the first game? See that horror tackle?
Oh,
Of course, yeah. Forgot about that. So
Horrid
it seems like
tackle.
weeks and weeks ago.
No, I'm definitely gonna be backing Højbjerg to get booked because I don't know if you watch Jude getting fouled, but Højbjerg's definitely gonna leave a leg in there.
Well, I have to say, just to touch on that, I don't want to digress, but I said to Jonesy, I'm going to have to turn around in the next podcast and say to B, fair enough. I mean, that performance, the first 35 minute, the whole England team, 30 minutes, but that 35-minute performance from Jude is as good as I've seen of anyone in an England shirt. I mean, the confidence, the swagger,
Everything.
the way he was just like, with the shoulder into the guy.
The way he was looking at it, it's like,
Here we go.
what,
Yeah.
mate?
Yeah.
Look, come on.
Do one.
Go.
But that infects
Have a look
the
at this
squad.
medal.
That infects the squad, though. That's what I want. That's what I
does.
want to see.
It does.
Somebody
I think
definitely has to check his passport.
he's,
He's not 20 years of age. No way.
he's breathing down Kane's neck for that armband, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd give it to Rice, but then I suppose.
Yeah.
So, score predictions, guys. The game is on us now. Was it 2 days away? Jonesy, I'll start with you. Where are you going, mate?
Considering everything that I've just said.
I'd like to say that I was right, by the way, on the
Yeah,
last one.
1-0, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1-0, thanks,
Okay,
mate.
yeah.
Well, we were closest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering that everything that's just been said, I'm going to say 4-0.
I mean, I said 1-0 Serbia. I mean, they nearly got there. They nearly got there.
If buts and maybes.
I'm saying
good 3 points, but nearly got there.
Honestly, I'll just 4-0.
I know. I agree.
I'm going to say Foden gets 1 or 2. I think Kane will get 1 or 2, as annoying as this is. And fuck knows who else. Saka, I don't know. Penalty, who knows? But it'll be 4-0. I think it'll be a comfortable win. And then I think we'll see some of the squads we've just put up, apart from mine, play in the third game. But
I agree.
tune in.
I'll go 3-1. I think I'll go 3-1.
okay.
Where you going, mate?
Going 2-0.
2-0 England?
I'm going to go 3-0.
So we're all very convinced this is...
I think
Do you think this is the easiest game in the group?
This is the easiest game in the group. I mean, the way they set up, they're in for a pummeling.
Anyone watch Denmark-Slovakia? I didn't. Did anyone watch that game?
I didn't watch it, but I see.
Because that was it 0-0 or 1-1?
1-1 draw, yeah.
And highlights, see anything that made you think...
It's a bit of a non-event.
Yeah.
I watched a bit of it in and out in between doing whatever. But
Nothing to worry about.
yeah, I mean, if it would have been really good, I would have stayed and watched it. Put it that way.
I think Denmark will really struggle in midfield, and I just think if God forbid Southgate, if he can please just put a winger on the other side, because Saka.
Sending you vibes.
Oh, I'm sending it over.
Even
Gareth, I hope you're listening, because if you leave
on the easy breeze line.
Go on, talk to him, mate. Talk to him.
If he leaves Saka to try and attack the same way he did in the first 30-35 minutes, he's going to get eaten up, because Denmark's going to set up with 3 men on that side, and if there's no one on the other side, then what's going to happen? Nothing. You can't play 1v3. Not going to happen.
I agree. I totally agree.
Upsetting.
So 4-0, 3-1, 2-0,
3-0.
3-0. Hopefully, guys, we're in for a convincing win. All the games again being shown. Kick-off early one, isn't it? I just remembered 5 p.m.
Yeah.
5 p.m. But you're busy, mate. You with a nipper?
Yeah, working with a nipper. God knows I know I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get it on, pause it, and then just switch off all my phone and everything, and just watch it like it's an 8 o'clock game.
Pretend. All right, guys. Well,
That'll be
look,
done.
thank you very much. Come and join us. As we said before, get here early. What time are we opening, mate?
We are opening from 4 o'clock, and the kitchen will start serving food from 4:30 if you want a snack as well.
Nice.
Pizza. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And we will see you, hopefully, being able to report a nice win of 4-0. I'll go with you if we can do that. Thanks very much, guys. We will see you on Thursday or Friday.
Friday or Thursday.
I'll let you know. See, we're organised around here. Cheers, guys.
We'll see you.
Bye.